We are live. We are live. God is great and my paper straight. Let's hope that God is great and the district attorney won't indict. We do not need the district attorney taking over this case. Even though that's city, very possible that the district attorney in where did this happen? San Jose, California. Rapper, podcaster Troy Ave, Ronald Collins, has just been on CCTV. Troy Ave is on CCTV discharging a weapon again. And once again, I will argue that tunnel vision has taken place in this alleged shooting, which appeared to be an actual shooting, but let's just say allegedly for posterity. Troy Ave, a rapper that I truly adore ever since Bricks in My Bag, Volume 1, 2, and 3. White Christmas, Volume 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And then his album that he released while out on bail, which was just, I believe, named Ronald Collins. That album was so fire. And then he even did like a Tupac, like a new Pac album. That was pretty good as well. I am a supporter of Troy Ave. I like Troy Ave. I like the person. I like the energy. I like what he brings to the city, or at least what he brought to the city. And I do like his work ethic. Troy Ave is a man's man. When you take away the fact that his beef happened with someone who was really, really loved and respected, and that's Taxstone. People love Taxstone, and they hated that those two had that beef. But I would always argue, why is Taxstone in the green room where people are supposed to be there waiting to go on stage? And Troy Ave was actually booked for that night at Irving Plaza. So what happened when Taxstone brandished his weapon to show off his bravado, and Troy Ave and his friend and security tried to disarm him, someone ended up dead. Troy Ave wound up testifying against the alleged shooter. I argue that Troy Ave was working, and anything that happens while you're at work is a little bit different. It's a little different. And I have my own anecdotal reasons for saying that, of course. And it's purely anecdotal. Don't forget to tap the screen twice so that we can get the like buttons up. All right, tap the screen twice. We're talking about Troy Ave, rapper, New York. He's in San Jose, California, or is it San Diego? Can't remember. I didn't write any notes. But I did look at the CC cameras a few times. I did look at the cameras to see whether or not this was some justifiable situation. I don't even know if the guy was hit. What the camera only shows 2 shots. It appeared to be 3 shots, but I'm thinking that's the echoing. The first shot was an echo. He could have let off 2 shots. The first time he raised his pistol, he could have let off 2 shots. But let's talk about, I'm not going to show the video, but let's talk about what I don't like about what happened. And how I believe tunnel vision has taken hold of this situation. I You see the vehicle pull up a driveway, and there's tons of little oil spots on the floor of this driveway, which leads me to believe that this driveway is not a driveway that's regularly sprayed as far as the power washing. It's not a driveway that's immaculate, so to speak. So we're not looking at someone drove up this driveway and behind them there was a fence. I don't believe there was a fence back there. I believe that this driveway had access to walkers. You could have walked up the driveway, in other words. You wouldn't have to leap a fence, so to speak. I could be wrong, but I don't think you have to leap a fence. Uh, it appears to be that Troy Ave was with this guy named Chef. And Chef is a party promoter in the California area. And I don't know much about him. I don't like him. I don't like the way he was not focused when he got to his destination. I don't like his movements that he made, even though one move that he did make I do appreciate, and that was he took this little blue money bag and threw the money bag on the floor. And when the guy reached to retrieve the money bag on the floor, that's when Troy Ave let him have it. And it wasn't until the guy started to stand when Troy Ave appeared to let off two shots. See, there's a lot that I don't like about this scene. And hindsight is 2020. And yes, I am doing what do they call that? Armchair quarterbacking, Monday night quarterbacking, all that stuff. Or is it Monday night for Saturday? For Sunday, you got Monday. But, there's games on Monday, so I don't know how that works. But let me just say this. You have to pay attention and your head has to be in a swivel. Troy Ave and Chef get out of the vehicle about at the same time. Chef appears to be the driver, but, a lot of these cameras, like what you hear, I have this on selfie. So I don't know if this shirt is coming through clearly or is it in reverse. It depends, right? So if it's in reverse, then that means Troy Ave was driving the vehicle. The vehicle appeared to be a Bentley SUV, and it appeared that Chef was the driver, and they both exit the vehicle at the same time after going up this kind of like nondescript driveway. It didn't appear to be posh. It didn't appear to be luxurious. It appeared to be quite quaint. Troy Ave goes up the driveway. They both exit the vehicle. This guy Chef pisses me off because he's over here singing and he's like rocking to his own thoughts and his own rhymes, and he's coming out the car and he's just doing the damn two-step instead of paying attention to his fucking surroundings. Excuse my French, YouTube. Excuse the profanity. But he's over here not paying attention to his surroundings. Troy Ave exits the vehicle while his friend is doing the two-step, and in his hand, he's holding the money bag. He has the money bag in his hand, and the money bag looked extremely thin. It wasn't like a bulging money bag, but it was a very distinctive blue money bag. I've dealt with those money bags many, many times. I've taken those money bags to the bank. I've put money in those things many, many, many times. So I get I see what I'm seeing. And he has a money bag in his hand. So he gets out of the car with the money bag in his hand, acting like he's in what's that place? Hey. Yo. What's up, buddy? That's the new car, right?
Well, it's not new, but yeah.
It's your newer car.
Yeah, it's my other car.
All right, I'm doing a quick live. All right, buddy. We'll talk, okay? All right, now. So he's like dangling this little money bag in his hand, like no big deal. He's doing the two-step, not paying attention to his surroundings. Mind you, there's a hill behind him that they just drove up, and the hill is not properly lit. The hill is quite dark, and the headlights to the car is still on, which probably means once they hit the alarm button, the lights will go off in the car outside. Maybe it might be some sort of delay. I don't know. What I do know is that this guy, chef, was not paying attention. You're over there doing a two-step. You're over there dancing with the money bag in your hand, acting like you in some gentrified neighborhood and you got nothing to worry about. You don't have a care in the world. You're not paying attention. I don't appreciate that. I really don't appreciate that, chef. I don't appreciate how you wasn't paying attention to your surroundings. I don't appreciate how you're over there dancing with a freaking money bag in your hand. I don't appreciate that. It pisses me off. California, you have to be on super high alert in California. They are absolutely out of control. You can't even wear a Rolex in California. You can't even wear this because they're ready to kill you for it. And that's in Beverly Hills. These people were they were much further away than that. And their guard was obviously down because Troy Ave walks over to the garbage cans. There's 2 garbage cans there. I didn't see a recycle can, but I saw 2 black garbage cans. He lifts up one of the lids and throws whatever he had in his hand in the garbage. At that very moment, you can see from Troy Ave's left side, it depends on if the camera's in reverse. We don't know. But from as far as the camera's concerned, from the left side, you see a small image like that coming from behind Troy Ave and going around to the driver's side. So Troy Ave is the passenger side. You see this person dressed in all black coming down, and they are low. We're talking about super, super, super low. Where they're at a ninja crotch. They're crouched down like in a ninja position. And they're creeping around the driver's side. And as they're coming around the driver's side, they in their right hand had that blicky out. The blicky was already out. He had the blicky out. And Chef sees the guy and throws out a nervous kind of a laugh or a chuckle. Oh, yo! Like one of those. Like, oh, yeah, yo, whoa. One smart thing that the chef did was he threw the bag. So he throws the money bag on the floor, which made the assailant turn from he's approaching. Now he has to turn right. He had the gun in his right hand. Now he has to pivot right and go down to pick up the money bag. He retrieves the money bag. At this very same moment, Troy Ave is by the front passenger wheel and fender. He had went from the garbage can, which was about 7 feet, 8 feet away from the car, maybe even 10 feet. He walked 10 feet, threw the stuff away, and then he sees the guy approaching him. He backed all the way up to the fender and front tire of the car, never turned his head to see who else might be coming up that ramp. Never turned his head to see who was coming up the ramp. He never did that. He was stuck on his assailant. Tunnel vision. The same thing that I argued happened at Irving Plaza. He had that tunnel vision. He didn't see anyone else around him. Troy Ave allegedly appears to pull out of his right hand. Well, check this out. When he retreated to the tire and fender of the passenger side of the car, he reaches and pulls out what appeared to be a weapon and pow, fired 1 to 2 shots. I wasn't sure if it was 2 because it could have been an echo. And then the assailant drops the money bag goes towards the rear of the vehicle, of the driver's side of the vehicle. So now this is the driver's side of the vehicle here. It happens in front of the vehicle. The assailant now runs and retreats this way towards the back of the vehicle. Troy Ave allegedly comes around after firing what appeared to be 1 to 2 shots and fires the third shot as the guy is on his belly, running, crawling, trying to get down that hill. And then the video ends. The video ends. We don't know if there was a third shot. We don't know if Troy Ave laid him down. We don't know if he even hit him. What I do know is that Chef did the right thing by throwing the money bag, because had he not thrown the money bag, the chef would have been in crossfire. It would have been a friendly fire situation, because the way Troy Ave lifted up the weapon, he didn't focus the weapon like he did in Irving Plaza and aim the weapon. He just pow. So Chef could have been shot at that moment. Chef was able to back up out of frame at that point. He backed up out of the frame. Troy Ave, with that tunnel vision, chased the man down behind the vehicle and let off another shot. My thing is, who in their right mind is committing these kind of robberies alone? How long were they waiting for Troy Ave and the chef to get home? Did they come? Did they follow them from the event? Did they know the event was happening and waited? And then we have what is called a lone wolf. Do we have a lone wolf here? Do we have a one-man band? Because let me tell you something. When that guy came from behind Troy Ave, he came up that hill and walked from behind the car, this way. He came from behind the car this way and went up to Chef and pulled out that gun. He had the gun out. And let me tell you something. Troy Ave never turned his head to see if anyone else was coming up that driveway. Never. He never turned his head to see if anyone was coming. Tunnel vision. Tunnel vision is such a serious thing, such a real thing. And that's why, like, people that work in law enforcement and SWAT team, they're constantly doing drills over and over, every day. Why are they doing that? Because they have to get their brains almost as if it's muscle memory, that they don't have to. Like right now, I'm wondering, like, who the heck is parking behind me on such a desolate block? I think I'll be fine. I have no enemies. So we have a situation where Troy Ave could have done better, which means he should have been doing a lot more practicing how to shoot, practicing more drills, so that in a situation like that, situation awareness, he would have been able to get out of that tunnel vision and been able to move his head and possibly seen the guy coming up that ramp. And this guy doing the two-step dancing with the money bag and his saying, yeah, all happy. Oh, yeah, we did so well today. We're doing so great. Look at us. Look at me. Yo, dude, your two-step almost got you killed. And then I just don't understand, why is there just one assailant? Why is there just one robber? Who's robbing people on their own? Who's the lone wolf doing this? And if you're the lone wolf, why aren't you approaching that driveway and shooting? No one is going to do this crime without first knowing that there is money to be made, and then possibly knowing your assailant, possibly knowing your victims, and the willingness to want to lay that person down. Why didn't he go up that ramp and start shooting? Why did he allow the guy to just throw the bag on the floor? Why did the chefs, maybe the chef with his nervous laughter threw him off? Got him off of his square? I don't know, man. There's a part of me that if it wasn't Troy Ave in this situation, I would say it was staged. This is some sort of ruse to big up Troy Ave's ability to take on, to take danger on head first. But his taking on danger head first was much more reactionary than it was. This was him reacting to a guy standing alone who attempted to rob them with a weapon, and he pulled out and he put in the work. Problem is that, there's been so many repeals on the First Amendment that if you have a felony, you're jammed. If you have a felony, you're in trouble. You're not allowed to discharge a firearm. You have to hire security. You have to have somebody with you who at all times has a firearm. If you do not have that person with you, then you might have to go to prison. So even if the district attorney in this town refuses to prosecute Troy Ave, then you have the feds will do it. The feds will come in and they will do their jobs, what they do. And what they do is they don't respect the Second Amendment. So my heart goes out to Troy Ave and his family, his sons, his loved ones. And I just hope that he can get past this. I hope that I hope that God is great and his paper straight. Picho Gomez, how are you? Zach Morris, how are you? On foreign graves folk. And I put something tea with a lemon squeeze and called it a half and half, folks. I don't know what that means. Thank you, Zach. I appreciate you. Hey, T Rilla, my mod, how are you? Salute to you as well. Redface, how are you? You're my guy as well. Hope all is well with the family. Everything is okay. My son is very challenging times we're going through with him right now. That boy loved the streets, or at least the idea of it. Troy was quick on the trigger. I don't think he was quick on the trigger. He was in default mode when he backed up, and then he was on stand your ground mode when he went forward. It wasn't like the guy came, try to grab the bunny bag, and Troy Ave was on that trigger. Bang, bang, bang. Thank goodness he didn't do that, because he might have hit the guy that he was with. So when he was standing behind that wheel of the Bentley and that fender, and he reached out and pulled out, there was a couple of little moments there that he had. It was a decision that he made. It wasn't a reflex. They were following them for a while. You see, so what are you saying, Capers? There was a car waiting for the guy. He knew exactly what he was after. So it appeared. Can we bring some Jesus into this? Please, Jay, let's do it. Bring some Jesus. Drop a scripture for us real quick. Come on. Was it a setup? I don't know. Most things are setups. But for the guy to be such a lone wolf, it feels staged. It doesn't feel real. But despite that, you just might have somebody who, I don't know, someone desperate who knew these people were throwing parties and knew where they were gonna be late in the cut or followed them like someone just said. I think this is all speculation. What do we know? What do I know? I don't know. Anyway, Troy Ave, I have to keep it real with you, man. I love you, man. And I respect you. And I want the best for you. God is great and your paper straight. And I hope that this is another situation that you will be able to, you know, like we need to have, there needs to be a group of people that are going to go in front of Congress and they're going to fight for these firearms to be given back to the people. You have a felony, so that automatically means you cannot have a firearm. But what if you're at high risk of this sort of violence? Shouldn't you be able to protect yourself? The Second Amendment talks about, your right to bear arms should not be infringed, but yet it is infringed. There needs to be some sort of advocacy or some sort of panel or group or lawyers need to get in front of that Supreme Court and start truly trying to move the needle towards this. I was in a shooting while I was in the bar business, and I had that felony from when I was 17 years old, and totally railroaded and played and manipulated and all that kind of stuff. That typical, let's get the black and brown boys and put a case on all of them, and I fell for it. So when I was in the bar business and someone came into my bar and shot up the bar, well, they didn't come in, they didn't make it inside because I stopped them from coming inside. I was able to draw my weapon and back them up from coming inside after they shot 15 times. And I even got shot in the leg that day. So I'm shot in the leg and I'm standing my ground. I'm not letting the person in. And when I sent the video, and I gave the video to the courts, and I went in front of the grand jury. The grand jury was shaking my hand. They were calling me a hero, that I saved those people in that bar. Because after he dropped 15 shots into the windows and doors of my bar, he wound up reloading. And right when he took that step to open up the doors, when I came and I put in my work. And then he retreated. So that was good. He wound up doing a bunch of time for that. He wound up going to prison for that for 10 years, I believe. So, and the whole thing was, the big thing is that his defense was that he was in a shootout with me and that we had beef. So that's one of the reasons why I turned over the camera system, because I didn't want to testify. I didn't want to do all that stuff if I didn't have to. So I just let the camera speak for itself. And can you defend these cameras and what it's saying? Probably not. So, he took a plea. He wound up pleading out. I heard he came home and then went back, came home and went back. So, he spent most of his adult life in prison. So I'm glad he's alive, though. He's not dead. Despite the fact that I was shot by the guy, I have no ill will feelings towards him. He was under some sort of spell. They were putting a battery in his back. And he came, and it didn't go down the way he thought it was going to go down. That's how it be. Like this guy messing with Troy Ave didn't go down the way you thought. You thought it was going to go down a certain kind of way. You thought he was going to go up there. And what you was going to do, you're going to pull out and take the money bag and rob these dudes, and Troy Ave is holding something heavy? Come on. Doesn't make sense. What are you doing? What are you doing? See, that's the thing. People think they look at you and they judge you. They think, oh, this person is food. Not knowing that you're not food and you ready. Unlike Chef. Chef wasn't ready. Chef was having too much fun. He was dancing. Pissed me off, all that dancing. Not paying attention to your surroundings. Having the lights to the vehicle on so bright that you're going to wash out anything that's coming up behind you. I don't like that. There should have been a light up that ramp. What happened, Jay Jordan? I thought you was going to do some Jesus stuff. What happened? Drop a verse. Come on. Anyway, if you appreciate stuff like this, hit my Cash App. $ Elvis Rosenberg. That's $ Elvis Rosenberg. You are appreciated. You are respected. You are loved. Thank you like always. Boom.